this bloody music, mate.
Hello and welcome to the 90s Mad podcast, your podcast for all things Newcastle United, hosted by three lifelong Newcastle United supported friends. Myself, Jefferson, and AC. You guys good?
What's good? Welcome back.
Been a while,
to the
innit?
three of us. To the three of
Been
us,
a
actually.
while.
How do you define good?
I'm gonna say
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys.
Are we okay? Are we okay? Yeah, that's what I say. Because good is a bit,
Okay.
We'll get to that. But before we start, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, get the numbers up, leave your comments in, get involved in what we're going to be talking about, and give us some feedback on the podcast itself as well. It's all welcome. All feedback is welcome. So it's a brand new week, but as usual, it's been an interesting previous week for Newcastle United. So we're gonna cover what's been going on. Obviously, the main thing we're going to talk about is the latest game, the Palace game. But also because we didn't do the review of the West Ham game, we're going to touch on that amongst other things. So, and obviously we just had the FA Cup draw as well, a draw against Bromley, my local team. But all good. But good time to be a Newcastle United fan at the moment. What are you saying, AC?
Boy, it's one of those things where I feel like obviously we cover a lot of different aspects on this show, and we cover a lot of ground when we're covering different games and such. But if we always go back a few bit in episodes, and we're talking about these sections of games here and how like laser focus it is. It's going to be interesting to go through these things because a lot bit of context as well, just for the listeners here, is just that reasons why we've almost we've been away for I think just over a week and a bit. It's just that availability and stuff like that. So we've got quite a wide ground to cover because we've got two games, which to be honest, these are two games at the moment which are saying a lot about the status of the club. And I'm hearing a lot of what the fan base think. Once again, fan base is still very divided, but we'll get into those details because I'm noticing that there's a lot more who's pressuring our manager right now, who almost looking at like we demand some answers because the pressure cooker is building. It is, the lid's on top. It's like the steam's coming through. You got to turn down the heat, man, because something has to be done. Regardless of the situation, regardless of what you may think, regardless of what, something has to be done. And we can definitely get into the many aspects of that, of like what could be done, what should be done. But it is scary hours because, not to go too far ahead, but we got an in-game coming up on Wednesday against Liverpool.
The best team in the league.
We've got Liverpool right now who... It's not going to be an easy game to digest. And I hate to say it, but obviously we looked at ourselves at like being at home is quite a good thing. But even that now is not really a bulletproof thing we can rely on because that West Ham game destroyed almost like at-home credibility. I have to say it. And there's other credibility as well. And I'm going to drop a little hint in there about we play better with Longstaff, etc. That theory has just like blown out the water. Because I think a lot of fans were just saying that, like, oh, we play best with Longstaff. Longstaff does well for us, and we always got a good win ratio with Longstaff. That theory is depleted. So, in my opinion, I don't think anybody can rely on that statement anymore.
I like the way you went from Eddie Howe being on thin ice to the heat turning up.
I was going to say, thin ice.
Man switched it up. Yeah, he's had enough.
There's different analogies for different things. Don't get me wrong. The ice is cracking a lot, right? Not even Elsa from Frozen can save you right now, right? There's a lot of thin ice.
I hope we let him go.
Now listen. Let's be honest. It was two games. You mentioned the two games that we've had, and before that, these are two games that we expected to take a minimum of 4 points from, all right? And we've taken one, all right? So let's start with the West Ham game, right? Let's touch on that because obviously it ended up in a 2-0 defeat. And I think we all predicted a win. I think 90% of the fan base predicted a win, given that we'd won 3 on the spin in all competitions. West Ham are trash, and we were at home, which is meant to be some sort of fortress, right? The Brighton was a blip apparently, yeah. But you know, we've beaten Chelsea in the cup, we've beaten Arsenal in the league, we drew with City. You know, we tend to turn up at St James's Park, right? But West Ham came and had other ideas, so it finished 2-0. And Jefferson, what was your thoughts on the overall game itself?
Bruv, I'm lost for words out here. Like, you know, those ones where you're so fuming, you're not even upset. I'm just more like disappointed. The thing is, everything we've predicted is coming to pass, right? Where we were looking like, people are thinking we might as well be in the loony bin, but it's coming to pass right now. And this team's so fickle that it wouldn't surprise me if we actually turned out a good performance against Liverpool, because the same way we did against City and Arsenal, we'll up our game and then we'll have another 2 shit results. And that's the problem. We're really, really inconsistent. And remember, D-Man, I said to you in the group, I had a bad feeling about this game.
You did.
I don't trust this team. I lost trust in this team. I keep going back to it. Last year, when we got whooped by Forest, when we drew with Bournemouth, when we drew with what's it called? Luton. Yeah? I don't trust this team. My team. I don't trust them under this manager. So listen, a lot of the things we talked about in the previous games, particularly Southampton, the Bournemouth performance, Everton, AFC Wimbledon, right? We cannot break down a low block. No one makes the incisive pass. And one of the hugest things I noticed in this game, let alone the next one we're going to talk about, is the real lack of football intelligence. Do you know what I mean? Spaces, positioning. Spotting a pass. And when we look at passes, we actually made 509 passes against West Ham, which was the most passes in the game. But a majority of them are sideways and backwards and chips over the top that ain't going to hit anybody, right? So what we do is we get to the byline, we cross it, nobody's there. Nobody's there. I've said this so many times. Alexander Isak is not a centre forward. I really don't think he is. I think he's a wide forward. I really feel, obviously we're restricted by FFP, but we need a proper number 9. That's what I feel. And then you should have Isak one side. You know, in the way that you've got Salah. Salah's a wide forward. I feel that's more Isak, cutting in from one side, that sort of thing. So when we're running to the byline and whipping it in, it's a wasted pass. So many times I've seen it where people are making runs and it's almost like we're afraid for that incisive pass. It's like, no. Play it left, play it right. And then you're whipping it in and the quality's not there. So that's something that rang home true for me, was the lack of football intelligence, not using the ball, poor positioning. So we're not a good possession side.
You know what? You touched on a few things there. My frustration with this game, right, other than the result, right, is the fact that, again, we started well, right? And obviously Isak had that goal that's correctly disallowed, but good finish, but slightly offside. I get that, right? So I thought, okay, this is encouraging. But time and time again, if we don't go 1-0 up within the first 10, 15 minutes, we run out of ideas. So
it's a hard game, yeah.
It's a hard, we make hard work of it. So obviously, better team for 10 minutes, sucker punch, sloppy goal to concede. Lloyd Kelly, I don't know what he was doing, but sloppy goal to concede on the set piece. And from then on, it was like we were huffing and puffing with no end product. So we arguably were the better team in the first half. We were creating half chances. And Gordon, if you could finish, if you should have put that one away with the error that Tadibo made. I think Isak put one just wide, Willett put one just wide, and Howe had one deflected just wide, right? But apart from the Gordon one, they weren't chances or clear-cut chances, right? Now, the problem is, you mentioned the low block, right? And no one who can spot a pass. The one person that we keep saying time and time again, who can spot a pass, was sitting on the bench, right? And we brought him on, God knows what time, expecting to change the game by himself. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? It pisses me off. Now, what's even worse, that I've said it as well on many pods, said on the radio at the weekend, as bad as Joe Willock game that he was having, right? As soon as he got subbed, right, everything went to pot. We had absolutely no attacking threat in that second half, right? And also, why did he get injured? Because some idiot called Sean Longstaff injured him, right? Injured him in the first half, right? Collided with him, whatever, right? End of the day, he's gone off. The sub that he made was so strange as well, right? And then he starts to panic. He's put Isak and Wilson on the same, put two up front, well, Isak out wide, whatever, and Wilson through the middle. And when we were pumping cross, you mentioned the crosses that we were putting in the first half, right? These aimless crosses. When we've got Isak is not going, he's not a Shearer. He's not even a Wilson. So his strength is not heading the ball. I know we had the one against Arsenal, but that's an anomaly, right? But when Wilson gets on the pitch, we stop crossing the ball. Yeah? If anyone can head the ball, it's Callum Wilson. We stop crossing. Like this, I could not understand it. And the thing is, look at them stats. Two shots on target. We didn't have a single shot on target in that second half.
No.
At home. Not to mention that we've had Wan-Bissaka moving like Kimmich, Lahm, and Alves scoring. This brother does not score goals unless it's against Newcastle, right? Sloppy goal to concede, and then
Newcastle,
they were just comfortable. They were absolutely. It was an embarrassing performance, especially the second half. I don't know what Eddie Howe was talking about. Oh, we was good for 60 minutes. No, we were. We were okay for 45 minutes. And
we'll come on to his after match talks. We'll come on to that. Because he's taking
himself against Palace.
We definitely need to talk to about his after talks, because people are now highlighting it quite a bit, but for a while he's been like just, and it's really weird because I'm really getting some PTSD from like Steve Bruce era, where he would just chat shit after the game and be like, I thought the lads were okay, and like it's just like in denial. It's just like, what are you talking about? We were terrible. We were
playing better than under the Steve Bruce era. This is what reminds me. It's Bruce ball all over again. Like,
do you remember the mistake he made? He made a mistake with the substitutions. He thought Almiron was going to come on, and he forgot how many he did. And that reminded me when Steve Bruce did that against Wolves at home. And there was that thing where he passed Matt Ritchie the note, and everyone was like, the players didn't know what they were doing, and he made the wrong substitution. It reminded me a lot of that.
Well, and the frustrating thing about this result is that time and time again, because there was talk about if we win this game, we go within 2 points of Man City or something. Yeah, the same thing happened at Fulham. We could have gone joint top if we beat Fulham. We messed up. I think against Brighton as well. If we beat them, we would have gone in the top 4 or something like that. This is every time there's an opportunity, we mess it up. So I don't want to hear nothing anymore.
The cup final as well. Eddie's not a winner. And remember, the big one, D-Man, that we talked about a lot, obviously before 90s Mags was formed in our group last season, was those final 4 games.
3 or 4 games.
Sorry, 3 games. Sorry, the final 3 games. All we had to do was get
it over the line,
maximum points. I say 70%, 2 wins and a draw.
Yeah.
And 6th place was ours. And he couldn't get it over the line.
We would have done it.
So every time Eddie's been tested, he can't get it over the line.
Because
he's done it once, and everybody's like, praise be to this guy's name. Yeah. I just don't get it. It feels like it feels like a hick town, you know, in like those nightmare American films you see, and everyone's cousins and they're all related. That's how it feels like.
That cult mentality.
A cult. Like everyone must be related to Eddie. People are saying at this point, it's time to ask serious questions. Nah, mate. It was time to ask serious questions at the end of last season. He should have been sacked. So we gave him 10 games. He's had 10 plus games. And you could argue that the cup run is giving him an extra life, which I think we're going to get whooped in that anyway. But just to touch on one point you made, you talked about the Lloyd Kelly goal. It was exactly the same with Isak against Forest Murillo. So is it Tyndall? Is it Eddie? Zonal isn't working, particularly when we don't have Sven Botman there at the moment, because Cher isn't the best in the air. So you're looking at what? Dan Burn? You have to do man-to-man. Yeah. So we're not learning from our mistakes. And this is the problem. When people are like, Eddie can fix it. No, he can't, because he makes the same mistakes. And the evidence is there. You've done the zonal marking, and you conceded 2 goals in 2 games.
I don't understand why we're starting to do the zone and marking this season. It makes zero sense. I don't get me wrong, like our set pieces, defending and attacking did need improvement from last season, but suddenly just do the zonal defending, even though clear as day is not working. Especially when I think it was the previous game, not the West Ham one, the other one, where you could see when Isak was in the wrong position and you're relying on a striker to do the defensive work. You're set up to fail there. But I do want to talk about, we got a lot more to get through with the other game as well. I'm going to start throwing in some little things in here because where my mind's at, and I'm really starting to think here that Eddie Howe is just not in control. And I have a theory around this because, for example, when you talked about the substitutions in West Ham and he thought he could still bring Alma on, you can tell my man is just not in the game. It's like, how come you're not thinking that you haven't got enough substitution left, but you think you do? Number one, that's proven that his distraction, he's just not thinking straight, etc. Also, I think the players are almost get to a point where they're just a bit fed up of this system of playing. And I'm going to go deep into this later, right?
You're right.
Because we've got players in this team, and it's not as if we don't have good players. And I think when, just general speaking, when fans react and we talk about players, we're talking about this guy, that guy, not performing well, blah, blah, blah. People, we have to think about it. The system of the football comes first before the players, because you can put any players inside the system. The system of what is dictated by the manager comes first. This system has been the same for a while, and it's getting so dry and old. Stale as hell. We do substitutions, it's like for like replacements and such, right? Systems don't change. This guy's struggling. Like, when I saw the lineup for this West Ham game and Tonali was not included, I was like, you fucked up.
This is it.
Because I kind of just knew, I said to myself, if you don't start Tonali in this game, you've lost the crowd a bit.
You've conceded already. You've
lost the crowd because you're not. Let me back up a bit, right? These international breaks we see in Tonali play for Italy, right? This guy's performing out of his skin. And I think people start jumping on him. I think when the last international game, it was 0-0 and stuff like that. But he still played well and such.
Hold that thought. This international break, before the Palace game, he's played more minutes for Italy than he had for us since he's come back.
That's crazy.
That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. How it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And this whole contention of like, Longstaff or Tonali, it's just like, it's such a very small mindset, because it shouldn't even be about that. It shouldn't be about the two players. It should be about the system that we're playing in terms of like football. It should be that, like,
if you want to control the game, if you want to dominate the game and try to unlock the low block, you can't have Longstaff in the team over Tonali. I'm not saying Longstaff, there's no room for him, but if you're going to have one or the other, it has to be Tonali.
It has to be flagged as well that, like, it's obvious as day that, we're not. I don't want to like put Longstaff out there and put him on the front line and be like, bah, 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 bah. But it is what it is. It's just that comparing of technical ability, just technical ability alone, right? Tonali obviously shines way much brighter than Longstaff does. But it's just, and I feel like up to this moment, Eddie Howe, this is what I mean about going back to he does have no control. He still doesn't know what his best lineup is. He still doesn't know no one knows what lineup or how we're going to be approaching the game. We do know we're going to be in a 4-3-3, but the fact is he can't figure out how to put these players or get the best out of Tonali. And I think at times as well, you got people like Tonali on the bench, bro. And I think actions speak louder than the words, right? When he's silent on the bench looking at that, the guy looks frustrated. And I feel like we got to be really careful here, because this is a really great player, and I wouldn't be surprised if some other teams start sniffing around him when it comes summer or even January to be like, you know what? Newcastle not really treating you right, are they? They're not playing you.
Come to death row.
You know what I mean? Like, but I just feel like Eddie Howe is just not in control, honestly. And I think Tonali's one example, and I'm going to go over a little tangent now. I know we've got a lot more to get through. But Isak, you made a good point about Isak, Jefferson, right? When you see Isak play for Sweden, right, the guy looks like a different player, because he's being well supported.
And they play
also he
plays
behind the striker.
He plays behind the
striker. Plays in front of him.
Yes, he plays in a different system where straight away there's support. There's 2 men up front. They're almost playing with the 2 man up straight forward, but he can drop back a little bit, but they can't interchange where he comes a bit forward, but gives them a little bit of freedom. And I'm almost like getting to a point where I'm so fed up of seeing Isak being isolated in our team.
That's the thing.
Isolated, man.
Because there's no quality around him. The thing is, you're talking about the crosses that we kept pumping to the box. That's useless. He's not going to do anything with that. If you play to his strengths, right, thread the ball through to him, or having him facing the goal rather than his back to goal, you'll get a lot more out of him. Because I've seen too many fans criticize him. Oh, he's done nothing. How many chances did we create for this brother? Yeah. What, 1 every 2 games, 1 clear-cut chances every two or 3 games? It's ridiculous. Like, I'm not saying he's faultless, but the more chances you give him, the more likely he's to score. It's simple maths, right? He's a quality striker. He's one of the best in the league, one of the best in Europe.
And that is the point, isn't it? Because honestly, I do not blame Isak for us not scoring at the moment. I do not blame Isak that we don't have enough shots on target. Once again, it's the system. The system, the way it's set up, it is just not working. I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't have any faith either at this particular point of time that all of a sudden a new system's going to start working or happening. It's just not.
We won't know because he's not going to try it. But listen, we'll get.
That's another reason why he has to go.
Right.
He has to go because.
Before we dwell on Eddie specifically, right?
Yeah. I know we're getting deep into that at the moment, and like we still got to do the Palace game, right?
Yeah, let's go to Palace, because we thought that the performance against West Ham was awful, right? You know, we thought we'd see a reaction going into the Palace game, and I know, Jefferson, we said from time ago, you mentioned that we don't do well on small pitches, we haven't got a good record at Sellers Park, whatever. But I wasn't expecting. I don't know. We all predicted a 1-1 draw, right? But it's the level of performance that we put out.
Someone got a bit rich, didn't they?
We won't go there, man. We won't go there on both games. But anyway, yeah. But it finished 1-1, right? And I can't even say this was a fair result because Palace deserved to beat us. We were absolutely atrocious. Now, the only thing Eddie got right was starting Tonali. And I knew he would, because he said in his press conference, he said he was praising Tonali how well he's worked, exceptionally well in his training.
That pisses me off in a way, because it kind of like it undermines my guy's talent. I don't know. It's rude, actually. It's just like it's rude.
About it, bro. You've got the likes of Tonali, Isak, even Bruno, bro. Yeah, they must be looking at this brother like, are we really being managed by this journey, like really? Like, if this is what it's come to, right? The respect, even I think even Gordon's looking at him sideways. Yeah, don't think Gordon ain't performed very well, but I think the comments that he made in the press conference in his interview afterwards, he's running out of patience himself. I think the whole playing staff is. Yeah, they're fed up with this guy. But anyway, with this game now, right? I actually went to the game, innit? Obviously, I sat with the Palace fans.
You were there. You were there live. So I have to admit, this is a special special game to review, because you were there live. I was
there, yeah,
in 4K.
First of all, that first 45 minutes was absolutely atrocious, right? It was a bore fest. However, yeah, what I didn't understand is why Newcastle were time wasting from about the 5th minute. Every other player went down with some injury, yeah, to waste time against a team that was sitting in 19th place in the league. It was absolutely embarrassing. Even I thought back, the Palace fans were cussing. Even I started cussing, like, get up, bro. But I knew Isak was genuinely injured, because I saw when he got clattered a few times. And when he done his back
sideline,
I saw him moving around gingerly, like he's not going to last. I knew he wasn't going to last.
Yeah, he got hit in the knee. That was a genuine injury. I think he did get hit hard there, yeah.
But what got me is that we started the game, again, knocking the ball around, right? Keeping possession, but there was no end product. We weren't troubling Palace, but we weren't really in trouble. But then all of a sudden, it's like a switch got flipped. And we just started retreating. We just started playing. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't keep hold of the ball. We couldn't progress the ball. We were relying too hard on our defense, and the way we were wasting that ball when it got to our front three was our front two, because Isak didn't. I think he had 2-3 of touching before he went off. Oh, yes, yes, bro. Who's that? Who's that? Is that
Oh, it's Kante.
Oh, big up Kante. Yeah.
What's up, Kante? What's up? What's up?
Kante's in the house.
Yeah, big up, big up. But yeah, listen, Palace should have been, I'd say about, I don't know, a couple goals up, 2 or 3 goals up by half time. They had that glaring opportunity at the end of the first half when the ball's been whipped across and Muniz had practically missed an open goal on his weaker foot. But again, we offered absolutely nothing. Again, all we were doing was going wide, right? And what was even worse is that you've got Joe Willock making the overlapping runs. He wasn't getting fed. Joe Linton would just cut inside and just float some useless ball over the top, right? And on the other side, yeah, Anthony Gordon farting about, not doing nothing with the ball, losing it every time he touched the ball. Bruno Guimaraes, I don't know what he was doing, making himself look busy running around, but not doing nothing, absolutely nothing on the ball, getting bullied by is it Hughes? I think it was. Every time he got the ball. Yeah. The only player that stood out of any type of quality in that first half was Tonali. Yeah, because Tonali, he was defensive. He was in the 6th position, keeping his position. He would try to pass the ball forward quickly for the others to get going. When he went forward, his recovery runs was actually it was a sight to see because Bruno runs in custard. To see this guy run at pace and get back and nick the ball, I thought
he was barging people off the ball as well.
This is what he's about.
It's physical, isn't it, Tonali?
Yeah. I'll be honest, he was our best player.
Intense. Right? He's like Gattuso. Yeah. He's like a hybrid of Gattuso and Pirlo in one player, isn't he?
Exactly. Yeah. And he was spraying the ball out when he could, and he knocking off quickly to start the attacks. But other than that, we offered absolutely nothing. Palace was so comfortable at the back. It was embarrassing. I would say Dan Burn, he played well, but he struggled a bit physically with Mateta especially in the first half. Mateta was winning those duels. Dan Burn got better in the second half, but
Cher made, even though I don't think Cher actually had a good game, he made 2 key interceptions. Wow. There was one, I don't know who it was. It might have been Mateta that got past him. I thought he's going to score. And he took the shot, and I think Cher just got his foot in there. So he made 2 key blocks. And then Munoz missed a chance, an open goal in the first half. So it should have been 3-0, really. 3-0.
But what got me is the biggest talking point of the first half, other than Palace's opportunities, was the substitution, right? Because Isak's gone off injured, and I thought, okay, we've got 2 strikers on the bench, maybe too early for Callum Wilson, but we've got Willisula, right? He brings on Harvey Barnes, and sticks Gordon up front. Again, against a team that's sitting in 19th place in the Premier League, and tell me what Anthony Gordon has done in that central role ever.
I have no idea, mate. I have no idea. I don't know why he thinks he can play.
Especially on the form that he's on as well, right? So then he's got not only that, he puts Barnes on his weaker side, right, on the right-hand side, and kept Joe Linton on the left. Where is the sense in that?
I'd rather have Joe Linton up front, to be honest.
Right. We conceded the game from them. From them, we just conceded. We was like, okay, we actually are going to try go for a goal. If we can nick one, and go for a draw. And if we can nick one, then fair dues. It was absolutely embarrassing, right? So then the second half comes now. And granted, the goal that we scored was very well worked, right? From the free kick. Who's involved? Howe, Tonali, and Gordon, right? So Tonali deft touch to Gordon. He cuts it, and then there's Mark Gay, who's trying to clear it, and he puts it into his own net. And I see the Newcastle fans all ridiculing Mark Gay, who played well up to that point, by the way, right? But he scored the own goal. All the talk, the banter comes out, whatnot, right? We did not deserve to go in front, right? Because in that second half, Pope has made 2 very good saves. One ended up with Dan Burn clearing off the line as well, right? I think Mateta put one over from 2 or 3 yards.
Ismail Assar missed one, didn't he, from like 2 yards?
From 2 yards, right? We were getting absolutely peppered, right? And what's even more embarrassing, we didn't have a single shot on target in the whole game, right? Had we gone away with a win, that would have been the biggest robbery in football history. And I think statistically, it would have been the biggest since XG has been involved. Basically, the lowest XG from a win ever.
We've had 2 shots on target in 180 minutes.
In 180 minutes.
And remember, there was that period where, was it in 700 minutes? We'd only scored 2. we hadn't scored a goal from open play. I think we only had the 2 penalties or something.
Yeah.
So there's a problem. And I think when we talk about the team, when we talk about Eddie, we hear it often, isn't it? The whole intensity is our identity thing. And we've not really seen that. That's been very absent. And the analogy I would certainly use is we're on Route 66. So just think that, he came in after Bruce. So let's be real. Anyone that comes in after Bruce is going to look like a superhero. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he raised them to a standard. He got them above and beyond where anyone would ever expect. So we filled up the car. We got a big muscle car, right? Driving down the Route 66, through them hot, graphite roads. And then what you start realizing is the petrol is running out and it's chugging. You start stalling.
There's no petrol station in sight.
There's no petrol station, and we're almost at a halt. That's where we're at, and we're going to be lost in the middle of nowhere. And at the moment, that middle of nowhere is mid-table. And if we're not careful, we're going to keep sinking.
Yeah, don't forget to wrap up the game. We then usually this is what
I want to get this guy. I want to get this guy.
AC was talking about him getting confused with the subs in the previous game, right? Usually Eddie Howe in injury time, he gives Osula these pity minutes, right? Or brings on somebody, right, to run down the clock, right? So tell me why in this particular time he made no subs. He didn't even bring on a defender to shore things up, right? And lo and behold, we then concede in a 94th minute. Stoppy goal to concede, yeah. Joe Linton sleeping at the back, whatever. I think, a couple players were sleeping to be fair. And we got I don't say we got what we deserved, because we deserved to lose, right? But Palace got at least...
Palace deserved it, yeah. Palace deserved it. I think after all the shots that they have, and just to bring up the stats really quickly, some brief stats, like Palace had 16 shots. 16.
Let's call it what it is, bro.
And the thing is, you can't expect it for them being the home side.
19th
but
in
still,
the league.
16 shots compared to our 1, and they had 4 on target. 4 on target against their 16 tells you a lot, about them, about their attacking, the reason why they probably are 19th. But
look
still,
look what we did.
But look at that.
And
1 shot, 0 on target.
Those stats are stackable,
Can anybody
bro.
remember what that shot was? Yeah, I think it was a contested header that Joe Linton had. Yeah, there was we don't shoot. When was the last time we shot from outside the box if it wasn't Fabian Scher, bro? Nobody shoots.
No one shoots. No one shoots.
No one. And I'm shocked at
shots
that.
on target.
No shots off someone target. That normally shoots, isn't he? I'm shocked at that, to be honest with you.
But Barnes on the right side is not going to do that, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know Jose's been he's involved. Big up Jose. He said still sitting in 10th and 3 points off 5th spot is a good thing. Well, we're 11th, by the way. We're in the bottom half of the table.
We're 11th, by the
way.
Yeah.
Big up Jojo. Big up Jojo. Hey, Jojo's a fan of the show,
Big up Jojo.
He listens on Spotify.
It don't matter how many points we are off, wherever, because remember we've got Liverpool next, right? And then we're away to Brentford, right?
Yeah.
We'll be more than 3 points off.
I have to admit, the whole contention about you're only a few points off exposition, I'm calling that false hope at the moment. That doesn't mean shit. I'm telling you now, it doesn't mean shit, because Newcastle United cannot string together 3 good results on the bounce. It just cannot be done.
Have we got 2 league wins in 8 games, if that's correct?
Boy. I could tell you what our last 5 was. It's 2 wins in 5. 2 wins, 2 defeats, and a draw.
Right.
I can't tell you beyond that, but
it's not looking good. It's not looking good.
It's not looking good.
Because
allow it.
Yeah,
get with God. Hold that Anthony Robinson, by the way, but because he ain't really pull up any trees right about now. But anyway,
don't get him started, man. Oh my God,
that's another story. But
way, Joe's a Fulham fan as well.
I just Fulham in the building, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Got cottages in the house.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think, to be honest, out of all our games so far this season, the Palace game here was probably the ultimate low. The ultimate. It's almost like, how low can you go? This is really, really low.
Well, Rodney's just said these stats from the Palace game are pretty damning, and it is. There's no hiding away from that. Because I heard Eddie Howe and I think Gordon say this was up until they equalized, it was a good away performance.
But that's not good away performance. How was that good?
No shots on target or off target.
It's not good. I don't understand. This goes back to what Jefferson was saying earlier. That's like at the very start of our podcast here is what does good actually look like? Because if that's a measure of good, man, what's worse? I don't know. But honestly, this is like it's not as if like in the part like this calendar year of 2024, Newcastle haven't lost many games, but they have lost games. But the difference is like you can lose a game, but the team still put in a good performance in. But you lose, and you lose with pride, and you hold your head high still. You lost it, but just today wasn't your day. And there's games like that. But a game like this,
it's almost unforgivable.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Momentum's
it's
gone.
So bad. But this is when I feel like going back to my original point about Eddie Howe right now, he has no control on this. And this is what I feel like. I'm going to give I don't want to give a prediction about the Liverpool game just yet. But that Liverpool game on Wednesday at St. James's Park, I'm telling you now, it's going to scare the shit out of people how bad it's going to be. You're probably going to hear boos around St. James's Park because Liverpool right now are the most informed team in Europe, period. And do you think Newcastle are going to test to that? If this is how we're performing against a team in 19th position?
The only thing I will say...
Wait. The goal we scored is an own goal. Own goal. And you think we're going to test Liverpool?
However,
people are saying just to have a conversation. Questions to be...
No, but listen. However, I personally don't expect us to get anything from the Liverpool game. However, what I will say is that the good thing about this particular game is that it plays to what we know in it. Sit back, try to keep it tight, and hit them on the break. Now, the problem is Liverpool break down these type of teams for fun, right? We'd have better drop chance against a Man City or also Liverpool break down. They've got too much at their disposal for them to struggle against us, right? But this also attests to the problem. We have one style of play, right? Sit back and try to hit them on the break. When lesser teams say, go on, have the ball, we create absolutely nothing. And there's many reasons for that. One, because we refuse to change formation. We don't play the right personnel. We haven't invested in the right personnel as well. And all three of those come down to one particular guy, and that's Eddie Howe. Yeah? Because even if you can't spend at the moment, right? Why don't you play a different formation? A 4-2-3-1, for instance. If you want to get the best out of Bruno and Tonali, why not play them both in a double pivot, right? Or play Longstaff with Tonali and have Bruno pushing up forward if you want to have him play the 10, yeah? Because he's doing nothing in the 8 position, let's be honest. And Tonali's a better 6 than him, right? But when you're playing this 4-3, and you mentioned it before, these players have grown tired of it, yeah?
How is boring, man.
You look at Joe Linton, right? Joe Linton is one of our highest paid players. We signed him for a new contract. We don't even know what his best position is. Yeah, like he was playing down their left back against Palace, to allow Lewis Hall to go forward against Crystal Palace. Yeah, he's played left back. He's played right wing. He's played left wing. What more? He's played midfield. This is one of our highest paid players.
He doesn't know, D-man. He doesn't know how to coach technical players. That's why he only signs players that are athletes, and he asks them to run in it.
Well,
so when you start getting players like Bruno and like Tonali, he's out of his comfort zone because he can't. For example, the patterns of play we play are very similar. I've seen nothing new. The odd set piece routine, but nothing new. And I gave an example before. Even someone like Brendan Rodgers, watching him at Leicester and before at Liverpool, you could see the various patterns of play, like easily 8, 9, 10 different patterns of play. They're not just playing like triangles. With us, it's very predictable. I know the moves that are going to happen, and you see it play out again and again. So Eddie has, without Europe, Eddie has had more time on the training field.
There's no excuses.
And we're not seeing the improvement in the team. And this is why he has to go. Because the issue will be he will want to sign more athletic players. But at the end of the day is every team we're playing has worked us out. They know we only have one style of play. We can't control games. And when we do have the ball, we can't utilize the ball well enough. So we need a manager who is willing to take on the challenge to transform and evolve the team into a more technical, possession-based team. And that's why I think the likes of Edin Terzic, who did a great job at Dortmund, you know, I think he worked really well with Paul Mitchell, because you saw the way that these young players came into Dortmund.
That's
he
the
got
thing.
To the Champions League final.
Young talent.
And then, or you could take a kind of halfway house where you've got Sergio Conceição, who's a proven winner. So in the same way that Amorim is a proven winner, Sergio Conceição, he likes high intense. So the players are already used to that. So it wouldn't be too much change. He favors the 4-4-2. Guess what? That's going to support Isak. He will look, as a Portuguese manager, to hire more technical players. So we've got clear options. We've already missed out on Thomas Tuchel. We've already missed out on Ruben Amorim.
Someone's putting it. Is it Agro? He said we take the Brentford manager.
The thing is, Thomas Frank, he's a good man manager, but we have to be real. His style of play is physical. It will be long ball a majority of the time. You know, he's a typical Scandinavian coach. So he'll make us solid. He'll make us hard to beat. What I do worry about is, it is a step up for him because the pressure will be there.
Well, you mentioned a few things, but so 80, do you think that the fact that we don't control, we can't control games, whatever, is that because Eddie Howe doesn't know how to approach games like that, or he's just too stubborn and he thinks his way is the way that works? Because of, remember last season we outscored, I think, 16 of the other teams in the league. So, and we were creating a lot of chances. So is he basing it on that, or is the fact that he just doesn't know how to do it? What do you reckon?
Yeah, because when we had, the last season we scored a lot of goals. It was something like 85 goals or something like that. And it was a high tally, right? And I think everyone was comparing that season to the Entertainers, because it was that kind of Newcastle side where you score 3, we'll score 4 kind of attitude. But we knew at the time, and I think we even said this around that time, just talking amongst ourselves, of like, this is not sustainable. It is so, you're on, like, remember those games, you're on the edge of your seat, like heart in your mouth. You're like 90 minutes, and in 92 minutes we score and win the game. You're like, I can't live like that every game. I can't. Like, control the games. Like, get to a point, 75 minutes, win control, do some subs, keep control, keep the 9 margin on the gap of the goals of what we're scoring, control it. But I think it all goes back to the way the team is set up. I mean, I'm the broken record when we talk about formation, but this 4-3-3, guys, it's not a formation for control. 4-3-3 is when you're playing FIFA, right? And you're just going at all-out attack, and you're burning guys' stamina. And what happens on FIFA? They deplete. Hit 70 minutes, you got to do all substitutions. But guess what? You can't take them all off, so you end up just struggling. This is what it's like. I'm comparing FIFA here with real life, but it's very similar, though, in that respect.
Go on.
I was going to say, but I feel like the only way we can move forward, if Eddie Howe is going to change things or adapt it going forward, is that he has to change the way the team is set up. He's got to get the best out of our players. Get the best out of Tonali. For those people just joined the stream earlier, we were talking about this and talking about how great Tonali is for Italy and how well he plays. And like, then when he comes to the Newcastle side, he's fighting for positions over Longstaff.
It's disrespectful.
It's embarrassing.
Can I just say also, every time Tonali started the game this season, he played very well, right? But then he goes back to the bench, and expected to change it, come on the sub for 20 minutes.
And I do want to highlight this, because there's definitely some people out there who will be like, Tonali hasn't, like, no, it doesn't do much, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is when I feel like the breadth of the game here is just like,
they don't know football.
Your football intelligence is limited.
Just because he hasn't got an assist or he hasn't scored a goal, it doesn't mean he hasn't performed well. If you're basing people's performance just on goals and assists, I've got news for you. Football's a lot more deeper than that, right?
And you know what? And it's the first time that a 6 has to be judged on his goals and assists. Yeah, because no other 6
except for Rodri.
You know what I mean?
If you just watch Tonali's positional awareness and the way he reads the game and the way, guys, it's very like, I don't want to drop like key like greats in here, like the Pirlo, like the Zinedine and stuff like that, but it's that kind of level of like he's looking for 3 passes ahead. But the problem is, you see, is that like there's a lot of members in our team who are just not getting that wavelength of play that he's looking at. Feed the ball fast, and then people just like holding on it and passing it back. It's just like
this team needs to be built around Sandro Tonali, yeah. Because if we're gonna be that team that controls and dictates, you know, and creates, it has to be built around him, right? Because he gives that stability to build on a foundation, and he can dictate the play and start the moves from where he is, right? No other player can do that for us, right? But Eddie Howe fails to realize this now. Before we return to it, but how much responsibility do the players have to shoulder, right? Because there's two that our main players are not performing, whether that be Isak, whether it be Gordon, whether it be Bruno, right? None of them are, none of them are really performing. We spoke about Isak already, but before we go to Bruno, let's talk about Anthony Gordon, right? Because he is now our highest paid player, right? On the back of the season that he had, I'm not saying he didn't deserve the new contract, but we have this tendency to reward players a bit too early, as far as I'm concerned. However, but maybe we wanted to keep him, I don't know. But since he signed his contract, he's been trash. And it hasn't helped that he's been playing sometimes out of position and stuff. But when he's in his favorite position, he still offered nothing. I think he's got what, two goals,
1 assist, yeah,
and one's a penalty. Yeah, this guy's done absolutely nothing. Yeah, what is his issue? What's his problem? And when are we going to see an upturn in his form?
Maybe he had an Almiron season. He did.
Curtis comes to mind. Curtis has been screaming about this. Yeah, how average Anthony Gordon is. But
now, from my perspective on Gordon, is that I think he is a good player, and I think obviously he had a good season last season. I think part of the issue that we have with him at the moment, which does add to the, you know, almost like the complex situation here, is that Eddie Howe keeps moving to the left and the right to the middle. There's no consistency of where he plays, number one. 2, I think just generally at the moment, it's that kind of thing. It's like a plague, right? When the sickness spreads, right, it's really hard to get rid of it. And the sickness at the moment is confidence. This team has 0 confidence, whether you like it or not. Every player is affected by this. Gordon has no confidence at the moment. He's in a shell of himself. He has no like, and I think, guys, we have to remember this, is that I'm going back to the formation thing. I mean, people get sick and tired of me saying this, but it is like Bill Murray Groundhog Day. You get up every day, you go to training, and you play the same training that you played every single week, and you keep playing that same training. Nothing changes, just the day of the week. But it's the same train. It's the same train. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same. To a point, it's driving you insane, right? This guy, I feel like, and then the worst thing you can do is then you're trying to put him in like a striker position. He's not a striker, for goodness sake.
Like,
why? He needs to be dropped.
But the thing is, a lot of these things right here, right, it's echoing the very same thing that happened last season with Dan Burn, when Dan Burn was playing left back. Dan Burn's not a left back. Why do you keep playing him there? If you notice, it's a very similar thing. You're putting players out of position, trying to play in a position, forcing in positions, and what they did, it hurt us to a point. Dan Burn was getting crucified, man, on the pitches, to a point we were just like, save this brother. He's dying on that left-hand side. I think we've got a similar thing with Gordon now. It's just like, save his brother. He's dying. Just stick to him at the same position. Stop switching it around and such. It's inconsistent. He doesn't know. He probably couldn't tell us like what position he's going to play on Wednesday against Liverpool. He wouldn't know. He'd be like, I don't know. I'll turn up on the day and find out. I might play striker. You know, it's just like, if the players themselves on the pitch don't know what position they're going to play in, what the hell? What does that say then for confidence in the team? True. If you don't know how you're going to set up, if you don't know how you're going to set up against a team, how the hell are you meant to string the game together and play and performance in and have consistency across games?
But is there the argument that Gordon has started every game that he's been available, right? And his form has been off since the beginning of the season. So is there an argument that Eddie should have taken him out of the team for a little bit to get back that hunger, that fire to prove himself. Because the more I listen, I get the fact that he's been playing across the front three, right? But no matter where he plays, he's been rubbish. Yeah, he's been absolutely rubbish. So why is the manager got no guts to pull him off and say, you know what, sit down for a little bit, we're going to try something different? Yeah. Jeff, what's your thoughts on Gordon?
I think he needs to be dropped. I don't know if it was this international, the last one I saw that Almiron scored for Paraguay. And when he's come on, actually, to be fair to Miggy, he's got in decent positions. He's just not had good finishing. So to me, he's actually presented more of a threat than Gordon. And it would have been good to see him again. Yeah, believe it or not. And actually, I think it would have been good of Eddie, seeing as he stripped Almiron off, ready to come on, and he messed up the substitution and he couldn't come on. Would have been good to give him a chance to come on. But I think Gordon needs to be dropped. I think this is a similar thing to Gareth Southgate now, where you've basically got what people call our crown jewels, isn't it? And they're almost undroppable. Yeah, and it's very similar with the Gareth Southgate England situation, where he was just willing to die on his sword and not drop underperforming players. And it's very evident Bruno isn't performing. Gordon isn't performing. I'm going to be real with you. Yes, I feel we need a change of manager. But if it suddenly turned out that we had to, let's just say the deal to Liverpool did go through and we sold Anthony Gordon for 75 million, I wouldn't be complaining. Same as Bruno. If he went, I wouldn't be complaining. These guys need to be dropped. They're very lucky that, you know, for example, Lewis Miley hasn't been given a go. Almiron hasn't been given a go. I think we know the Murphy thing is done, isn't it? But for me, what I would like to see now from Eddie is him calling out the players. So in these sort of post-game interviews,
he'll never do it.
He's going on like everything's all right. But he needs to call them out. He needs to. When
you say call it, you mean just call out the players as a whole, not individually. Yeah, because you said if you individually,
he'll never do it.
Well, I saw, was it who's the guy that manages Luton? He was like, I've had enough now. When they lost this past week, he said, I've had enough now.
He should be sacked.
He said there's been many individual errors. I've been holding back for weeks. I'm telling you now, we're losing due to these individual errors. And I thought, good for you. You just call it out. It comes to a point you just need to call it out now.
Big up Double D. He said yes, Bruno. Double D. He said Bruno. Wow, and we'll talk about Bruno in a minute. But yeah, go on, AC.
Yeah, we can talk about Bruno because there's definitely two sides to this coin regarding of like Bruno at the moment in terms of like the fan base. Personally, I wouldn't drop him. Personally, change the flipping system. I just feel
change the system, AC. So whilst he's here, he's going to continue to play out of form.
You have to change the system because at the end of the day, I feel like it's very easy. It's very easy to people to start targeting Bruno.
But first of all, you strip him of the captaincy. That's what you do. This brother's not a captain. He's not. Yeah, this brother can't even win a toss at St. James's Park to have a shooting at the right end every game, bro. He loses a toss every single game. He's not a leader. Yeah, it's weighing down on him. It's the pressure of it is weighing down on him. It's affecting his performances. When do you see him G'ing up the team or leading by example? He's not. Dan Burn is a captain, bro.
You see, last season, the reason he got my respect because we knew that we had the injuries. Tonali was banned. Let's be real. I mean, Lewis Miley, bless him, he did well. He was a 17-year-old from the academy. Do you know what I mean? He did the best he could, but effectively, Bruno was almost on his own, wasn't he?
He was.
And particularly that game where we had to, was it 10 straight games or 11 straight games? He didn't get a yellow card, right?
We have to admit it, right? He carried our team. This is why I'm a bit like, I don't think it is the right decision to drop him or even to like scrutinize in that particular way. I just don't agree. I just feel like these players are put into a situation, especially Bruno, where you're like, man, there's what more can they do? And as you can see against the Palace game, Tonali's trying his best, but what more can you do if this whole structure is not working, and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse, and it's gonna make our players look like they're regressing. But if you just make a change to the structure, we can be open. Things could turn around quite quickly, because Bruno is a fantastic player, and at times he is the player that makes us win the games. He's the player that be like draws those fouls, does those things. He's the one who can have control. And don't get me wrong, we can be critical sometimes of Bruno when he's like holds the ball too long, releases it, misplaced passes, and it builds up. And I think in the Palace game, there's a lot of the misplaced passes wasn't there, and I think the accuracy wasn't good. And
you know what?
But you see what? So just to cut in for one moment, what I think you see these players we're talking about. If we go back to last season, last season, Bruno is a DM or effectively played as a DM. You know, we play with 3/8s, isn't it? But
yeah.
The players move where they want to move, don't they? Effectively as a DM, probably people are going on about Rodri, bruv. Yeah. 17 goal contributions. That is outrageous. 10 assists, 7 goals. I'll say it again, from a DM. Yeah. Anthony Gordon, 23 goal contributions. I think he got, was it 11 goals, 12 assists in all comps. Amazing. Amazing. Where are they this season? So I think there was a comment earlier. I think we should go through the comments in a moment. Are they overplayed? Are they tired? It's like a whole heap of goals and goal contributions have just disappeared from the team.
But is that why Eddie Howe's thinking it will come good because this is what we did last season? Yeah.
The thing is, the big thing here is that yes, we performed well. Yes, the stats were good. Yes, Bruno was great. Yes, Gordon was great. Isak had a great season as well. But people have to realize the situation. Just look at this league table, guys. Every other team,
I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it.
Every other team around us has invested in their squad and made additions to their squad. Not just to their squad, but they're adapting the way or style of football as well. Just look at Brentford.
We mentioned Brentford. They lost Ivan Toney, and
but
they look all right.
We have not progressed. And I have to say it. We joke about this all the time, but there's definitely a Newcastle United tape that gets sent to every club for every weekend. Hey, man, here's the footage. Have some fun with it. Set up your team up to do this, right? You might beat them. Yeah. Because end of the day, we're set up the same. It's rinse and repeat. So all these teams have got to do, listen, right? I'm telling you now, Palace looked at the footage against West Ham. They watched that game.
If Palace were half beat, they would have slapped
Palace watched every single footage how we played against this season. They watched us, right?
Let's be honest, bro.
So therefore, I'm telling you now, it's not hard. It's not hard for these teams to set up against us.
Bro, if Palace were half decent, they would have slapped us, right? And you mentioned about every other team that's changed their style of play. Someone's put in a chat, is it Ebon? He's put about, let's talk about how Chelsea are whooping us at the moment. Chelsea, look where they were last season.
That's my brother.
Oh, big up. Hey. Oh, is he the one that was talking all that smoke on the voice note?
Yeah, he was talking smoke. He was talking smoke.
EC.
EC, what's going on?
But listen, credit to Chelsea because obviously they changed their manager, right? And there was a bit of uproar at the time when Pochettino left because apparently just started to get the players on side and whatnot, and they had that run to win the season. They said, no. Kick rocks, we'll bring in another manager. And how quickly has he implemented his style of play, right?
This is the thing.
And Amarim as well. Man United.
The way you set up. Now look at Chelsea. You wouldn't never think that what position they were in last season.
But Chelsea hijacked the algorithm. Yeah. I was literally talking to Rod about this today. We were agreeing about it. 8-year contracts, I can't even say the word, amortization, cheats. They hacked the system, yeah? So that's how they got that big squad, innit? They shouldn't have been doing what they were doing, innit? And we know that we've been screwed by FFP and that.
But what I'm saying is that even if they had the players that they had, Maresca would have come in and implemented his style of play a lot quicker, yeah? And they can switch it up. They can sit back, hit you on a break. They can dominate games. They can break down the low block, right?
Mr. Cole Palmer.
Bro, they've got
Mr. Cole Palmer.
It's not just Palmer, bro.
What are you saying?
They've got Jackson who's scoring goals.
Palmer, yeah?
Bro, they've got Jackson who's scoring goals.
I cannot believe Jackson is outperforming Isak at the moment.
Bro, my father-in-law told me at the beginning of the season, Jackson will outscore Isak, and I laughed in his face. Yeah? Do you think Isak's catching him from here? You're mad. It's not happening. It's not happening.
AC, let's run through these comments because we got.
All right, let's go through the comments. Let's go.
Let's give the watchers some love, man.
All right, where do you want to start?
I think after double D's, wasn't it? After double
D's. We got face palm from Jose. That says a lot about Newcastle right now. We are the face palm team.
We're waste.
Kante, yeah, exactly. Mentality of some players nowadays is a joke. If Eddie was serious about the job, drop the dead wood and pay the players that give 110%.
Who would you class as the dead wood? Who would you class as the dead wood? Kante. Yeah, let us know. Interesting one. But we've got a lot of dead wood in the team.
We've got a lot of dead wood, but to be honest, like just to like rinse and repeat what we've always said is that's like we should never had on to Wilson. I think Trippier should have been sold already. Almiron should have been sold already. There's a lot.
How many of those three go in January? Wilson, Trippier, and Almiron. How many of those go in January?
I think Almiron goes, and I reckon Trippier goes too.
Right.
Wilson won't go.
Because they're talking about Wilson playing for a new contract.
I'm telling you now, if
he's
we
made up of Adams, man. He's made up of Adams.
Hold on.
I swear, if he signs a new contract, I'm going Tyneside. I'm shaking that gate. I'm shaking it.
Let's get through these comments. Let's get through these comments.
Get me mad. Wilson, nah, man. And I saw the clip of Wilson like hugging the flipping goal. Like, no. Anyway, let's go. There's an argument for Gordon Bruno are being overplayed.
Yes. Well, yeah, especially Bruno. You see Bruno's gone an international break 3 times to Brazil, right? And every time he comes back, he plays 90 minutes, bro. Yeah? When you've got Tonali, who played around the corner and can't get more than 30 minutes, bro. He's an idiot. He's an idiot, bro. Gets on my damn nerves.
He is a fool. He is a fool.
Idiot.
Yeah, when you think about it, Tonali's catching the Ryanair flight right to Italy. Right, getting a quick swift return. Yeah,
Bruno's going Virgin Airways, bro. Into the 10-hour flight.
Bruno's going Virgin Airways to Brazil. But it's also the fact that, and I think there's a comment down below. Yeah, Ebon said that he says like we need more youth. But the fact is, we do have youth players. We just don't play them because if you put Harrison, Miley into the fold, Sanusi, we can do some decent rotation in there. And these guys are great players from the youth side, but I don't think Howe believes in the youth. He doesn't believe in the youth. Anyway,
yeah.
Start best, but have something to come off the bench too.
No, but has to start every game now. But the last 2 games, we've had a strong bench. We've looked at the bench, thought, right, we've got options now. But hold on. Remember, if that goes for injured, he brings on Harvey Barnes rather than the 2 strikers that we got on the pitch. Yeah.
How much does Sula feel right now?
Did you hear Eddie Howe's comments, bruv? He said, we couldn't rush Wilson back. Fair enough. We had no other options off the bench. Yeah? You've got Willisula sitting there. What am I, a duppy? Are you mad? No, you're taking liberties.
He must be a Mitchell signing. That's why.
Has to be.
He must be a Mitchell signing, and he's not happy.
It's disrespectful, man. Disrespectful. I had no other options.
Osula's rolled, though. Have you heard that brother talk? He is rolled, bro.
He talks like a robot.
He talk, bro. He's not right, bro.
He's always in photos. It's like,
I've seen him getting pally with Willock, innit? I've seen him in the training video.
Even his presentation, like, right, this fits nice still. I'm like, brother, what are you talking about?
He's won the lottery, isn't he? He's won the lottery.
But like, look at all these hashtags: free Tonali, free Osula, bro. You're taking liberties, bro.
No, freedom, yes, freedom. These guys are locked up like Mandela right now. But anyway, let's continue. So there we go. Rodney. So,
but if they're not on form, can't play them. Basically, agreed. Again, it's the big names. It's the big names. They may have to go. You know, they may have to go before the summer. Again, Man City. Bruno would improve Man City right now. In a better team, do you see what I'm saying?
Look at Pep does, yeah. And when a man's underperforming, bro, he will dash you, bro. He don't care who you are. He will dash you. You sit down for 6 games, bro. I'll bring a you player in. That's what he does. He don't business.
And by the way, there's no chance we're getting 100 mil for him now.
Oh no, 100.
Last season, yes. The way he played last season was a very high level, innit? And you can only imagine if we had Tonali fully fit, if we had less injuries and all that, he would have been flying. But you
know what?
Yeah.
At the end of summer, I think the board expected people to come in for him. Yeah. Remember that release clause was so public. Yeah, and even when it decreased after that, nobody came in through. So I think that kind of screwed their plans a little bit. Yeah, and I think if City come in January, they'll say, you know what, give us a decent price, take him. Yeah.
I can see Rod and Ebon have got a bit of
dipping their chip.
Wait, I like Rod's talk there. He's like, so Ebon's like, yo, let's talk about how Chelsea are whipping arse at the moment. And Rod's like, let's talk about how much money Chelsea have spent. Get at it, boys. Get at it. Get at it. Get at it.
Chelsea, yes. Chelsea are performing good. They're one of the
best. Chelsea apparently in the title race.
They're in the title race. 1.3 billion they spent, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't want to say title race 2 yet. I don't want to like.
No. But hold on.
They should be after spending 1.3 billion.
If Arsenal win the title race, so are Chelsea, because they've exactly the same record. Look at the stats. They're exactly the same record, same points, same goal scored.
Arsenal are not in the title race. They're not.
So basically, it's Liverpool. Liverpool
Arsenal, they will be. Arsenal will be. They're finding their feet. Now Odegaard's back. That's it.
And they've got a big run.
That's basically like Kevin De Bruyne coming back for City straight away, bruv. Those 2 assists from Odegaard was like, poof.
Yeah, but Chelsea, Arsenal got Odegaard. Chelsea got Palmer. Similar players, yeah. And Palmer's output at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chelsea have the better striker.
By the way, I saw a crazy stat on Twitter for Cole Palmer. Yeah. 46 goals and assists in 47 games.
Mad. That's mad. It's a pity you can't do it against a big team. But anyway, we move on. Now,
stat padder. He's a stat padder. Right. You need more youth.
He's a baller still.
I don't get me wrong. Newcastle United, they need to go to the to drink some water from the fountain of youth.
If you didn't know, my friend, yeah. Previously, before Paul Mitchell came in, we had Eddie Howe's nephew at the helm of recruitment. So that tells you all you need to know. We were never going to get any kind of good talent into this club, but it may yet change.
You hear the latest rumor? Apparently, we're after Bournemouth player. No surprise.
Tavernier, innit?
Yeah.
Tavernier, yeah.
Forget that.
And I was just like,
rather Semenyo than Tavernier. I don't get it.
Eddie Howe all over it. Yeah,
it's Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe.
It's not happening, bro. It's not happening. Forget all that. Mitchell's going to stamp his authority, and we're going to get something done. Yeah?
We gave you 2 players, and you still can't get the job. Yo, listen, right? He's talking about Tino and obviously Hall.
Listen,
not much I can say about that. Really, not much I can say about that.
But you know what? Listen, enjoy your time. Yeah, enjoy your time up there, right? But listen, when you thing
is, this guy right here, he knows. Obviously, it's my brother, so we talk shit anyway. But like, he knows. This time last season, man was missing. He wasn't logging in on WhatsApp.
Like so Chelsea fans,
and they still managed to embarrass us though. 3-2 Stamford Bridge. What was the other one?
We scored the best goal though.
Did we beat them at St. James? Oh yeah, we smashed them at St. James.
We slapped them about
4-1, 4-1, 4-1.
We always do. Yeah, look at the.
But that was another one I was vexed though. That loss at Stamford Bridge in the league, and then obviously the League Cup. You know, the
League Cup was the one over the line.
Because we would have hit semi-finals that one, innit?
Hey, Double D's taking libbies. Have you seen his latest one? 3 oddie. Now you're taking libbies.
We'll get to that. So you're saying best striker in the Prem? You're talking about
Jackson. Well, no, he's not.
He's got potential, but
yeah, he's doing very well.
I think, to be honest, I'm happy for him that he's finding some form because
is he better than Chris Wood?
He's better than Chris Wood. What?
He's a better all-round player than Chris Wood, but
Chris Wood, are you?
I don't.
Chris Wood's
banging not better than Haaland. He's not better than Isak, but he's a very good striker. Yeah, Jackson is a good striker, and he's in very good form at the moment. But he's not Isak, and he's not.
Is he better than Watkins?
No.
No.
I know everyone's going to look. I know you're going to look at Watkins for now, but bro, Watkins scores some great. Watkins is a good player. He's better. He's higher in that table for me than Jackson. I think Jackson.
Listen,
I think Jackson, to be honest, is going for a purple patch. I think
he is, because he's not a better finisher than Callum Wilson. He's not a better finisher than Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson is. I'm telling you for free. Callum Wilson is definitely top 5 finisher in the league. I'll go as far as top 3. If he's fully fit, that boy can score goals.
Facts. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right. So Gordon doesn't look like he gives a toss. Trips Burn Wilson.
So that's the dead weight. I think that's a bit harsh on Dan Burn in terms of dead weight, because
he was key against Palace. I'll tell you that much.
He to be fair to Burn, he's
actually one of our best players at the moment. Yeah,
but he's just
former Fulham player as well, Kante. So I thought you show him a bit more love there.
Wrong side of 30.
But then he did score against him in the FA Cup last year, didn't he? So maybe that's why.
Yeah, Trippier's checked out though. Trippier's definitely checked out though. He's gonna go.
Yeah. We got Free Tonali.
Boy, we need the t-shirts. We should just do some 90s Mags t-shirts, innit? Free Tonali.
Listen,
until Eddie's gone.
If he has to start.
I'm gonna say, if he doesn't start against Liverpool, he needs to burn the place down. I swear down, bro.
We need his face. You know that Che Guevara print? Instead of Che Guevara, like with the beret, you just have like Tonali's face, innit? Revolution.
Yeah, we also got Free Asula. I just feel like Eddie Howe. We know this as well with Eddie Howe. No matter who the player comes in, right? No matter who it is, you could be Mbappe. He'll bench you. You won't start until like 10 games in. It's just one of those things.
Here's a question: does he play Asula against Bromley?
Has to.
Yeah, he has to. Basically, the team that played against AFC Wimbledon, but there should be more changes. Unfortunately, there's no Emil Kraft and stuff like that. But listen, Alex. There's no reason why Alex Murphy should start the game. Alex Murphy should start next to Dan Burn.
We struggled against Wimbledon. Struggled with a capital S.
Remember, if we come off a bad Christmas period, right, we will have to play a strong team against Bromley. Yeah,
I want him gone before them, bruv.
We'll get to when he's going to go in.
I'm talking about the next 2 games. I want him gone.
We'll get to that. We'll get that. Finish the comment.
And we need to do Liverpool prediction as well.
Yeah. Okay, Miley is the one. I agree, man. We are big fans of Miley. He's got a bright future as long as he gets the opportunity to play.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us some players you think Newcastle shouldn't be looking at in the squad.
Should or shouldn't be?
I think it should be. Yeah.
I think unless we change the system, I think we need a proper DM in it. I still feel we need a proper DM. We obviously need a right winger. We need a pacey centre back. I'm talking pacey. So, kind of Diamande or someone like that. I want to see some speed, in that centre back.
What about Gahey?
Please.
Gahey, what about Gahey?
Please.
Listen,
I like the look of Pepe Lu from Valencia, but there's a right winger that plays for Lille, but I can't remember his name. Obviously, Jonathan David would be a great signing, but they've got a right winger. I think he's Serbian or something. Really good player, man.
I'd take Semenyo or Bremo on the right wing if we're going to keep this 4-3-3. Edison from Atalanta as a DM. Yeah, he can play the DM role, but these are pipe dreams, by the way.
Another Brazilian team.
I don't think we'll get any of those, but it is what it is. But yeah, keep going through the comment because we've got agents left to comment as well.
Fired. We got Free
Oddie, bro.
Man said Free Oddie.
I told you,
he's taking the piss.
To be honest, he put in a international game. I was like, this guy's doing well.
Batted up England, though, didn't he? Batted up England at Wembley.
Yeah. Big up Double D. You're going to be joined on the podcast on Thursday for the Liverpool review.
Hey, Rodney, you got to join us for that one, man. We're probably going to have a 3-on-3 for that one. Liverpool one.
Yeah. So, no chance he's not better than what talking about Jackson.
Is he better than Nunes, Rod? Is he better than? I want to hear about that.
Pedro and Cunha.
Hey, both of them are bad men. I'd love us to sign either one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got a feeling Kante's like, please allow it.
You're taking the beast.
We're going well be better than Jackson.
Oh,
no,
I think
too far.
Welbs, he has a record on him still.
Yeah, he does, but no, come on. Let's be serious. Let's be serious, bro. No. I know his brother, by the way, but yeah.
I'll just like an incentive.
What's happening, Adrian? Big up, mate. Big up.
Inventive edge, and that's true. He's too plain. Everything about Eddie Howe is plain. Yeah, plain and boring. Yeah, his press conferences, his approach to games, his tactical flexibility, everything is the same. You're gonna get the same. It's okay, but it's not exciting. Yeah, that's Eddie Howe to a T in it, and it's worked up until now. Credit for what he's brought us to the Champions League, the fourth place, whatever, saved from relegation. But we need to move on. We need some excitement now.
Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the memories.
All the Jackson hate, men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
That's what Astrid Wed said when he was DMing her, but yeah, it's all good.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Good, yeah, it's all good.
Nah, enjoy Jackson's purple patch. It'll feel great, but when the dry spell comes and it's Sahara Desert, my man's looking for oasis, thinking it's goals, but it's just like going wide. Boy,
he'll be doing more than breaking his duck there. That's for sure.
What did you say it was?
So Lobotka, I'm gonna check this guy out after on YouTube. I like it when people are scouting these players, man, that I don't know. Saint Just, I do know. He's impressed me when I've watched him. I wasn't sure. I thought he was a fullback, but he's a centre back. Okay.
Hold on. I'm just seeing what he's keep scrolling down.
What's that?
He said he's not better than Nunes.
Who?
Jackson,
you're taking liberties. Nunes is trash. Nunes is trash.
To be fair, he packed us out though twice.
To be honest, man,
he'll never hit strikes better than that in his life.
We got to be careful of the shots we're giving Liverpool right now because
no, we don't. Because Liverpool will clap us anyway.
He's gonna turn up. He's gonna turn up at St James's and score some overhead kick, and we're gonna be like, oh shit, here we go.
You made a prediction, D-Man, didn't you? You said that on the basis that he's not scoring many goals, they might convert him in the same way we converted
Joe Linton.
Yeah. I don't think his passing is as good though, but I don't know. Maybe again, you Liverpool fans, you might.
It's just the effort and the physicality and the aggression because that's all he's got. But anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, we need a 10.
Hey, Adrian, for us to have a 10, my friend, Eddie needs to go. And we need to play, a different formation. 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1.
Once upon a time, we were in for James Maddison. But then he didn't fit Eddie's system, so we ignored it. Yeah.
3-8s under Eddie, and he's not looking to change it.
We can't. It's all good getting players, but if you still got the same system, there's no point in bringing the players in.
I agree, but by the way, in terms of Adrian's point, I do agree because of that lack of creativity, and we've talked about it, that the strikers need to get fed, and that's not really happening. So I do agree with Adrian there. It's just not feasible under Eddie, unfortunately.
Double D's come with a perfect. Now go back to the paper. That's a perfect analogy. Eddie is Rich T. Yeah, that's exactly what he is. Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, plain and boring.
I wouldn't say a rich tea. I would say a digestive. Do you know how dry a digestive is?
No, but digestive you could have chocolate on them as well. So
yeah, they've got a little something about it.
Yeah, you can switch up. You can switch up a little bit. Rich tea, you can't do nothing with.
Oh wow!
Dip it in your tea.
Double D is rating the player that Kante mentioned. So
I was gonna say, if anyone knows Double D knows, bro, because his football knowledge or his scouting knowledge is top tier, bro. Yeah.
But, and I guess he must be that good because he's allowing, obviously, Scott McTominay to get forward and get them goals. So he must be protecting the back four. So he must be doing a good job.
Jackson, he can drop out wide. Jackson can drop out wide, and he's tried. He can beat a man as well. No, Jackson's got a bit more to his game, man. A bit more to his game.
You think so?
Yeah.
I ain't seen it too tough. I ain't seen it. No, I kind of get that point. I see him score goals. I don't see much more. I don't know, but I haven't watched him for Senegal, and I definitely didn't watch him for. Was it Villarreal?
Yeah.
Maybe he had more to his game before. I don't know.
Honestly,
the bottom line is none of them are Isak. Yeah, let's stay on track here. None of them.
I'm not even shouting about Isak right now.
I'm not even entertaining
He's
that argument.
well.
I'm not entertaining it. If anyone's going to come up in the chat and say Jackson's better than Isak, man, you might.
No, that's not happening.
You'll get blocked.
That's not happening.
No, but anyway,
you might get blocked on this channel straight up.
Back to Eddie Howe, right? Back to Eddie Howe. Jefferson, you mentioned that because I agree with you. The next 2 games, should be that's when he goes, right? But there was some. I think Luke Edwards came out and said basically he's going nowhere. He's going to see out the season, right? So
which I think is true. I think will probably happen. Yeah, go on.
Now the problem I have with that is that, which is fine, but in January, if he gets any sort of say in these transfers, he's going to sign the same kind of player, if any, right? He might just say, "Oh, if they're not going to improve the squad, then we don't want them," right? So, but then he's going to sign the bloody athletes with no technical ability, who've got passion, who can run fast. That's all he's going to do, right? And nothing's going to change. Now, what for you is acceptable for him to keep his job come end of the season? Yeah, AC, I'll start with you.
Why does he get to go first?
Because I know you're going to go on a mad one, bro. Yeah.
For him to stay, to keep his job at Newcastle United manager is this. He has to show some very decent signings come January. And all this chat about, we can't buy anyone, FFP. No. We didn't buy anybody in summer. So let's get that straight. There's Kitty in the bag, right? We can do at least one good signing in January. And I think when it comes to the league, I think obviously we still got Carabao Cup. And the more I see it now, the more I feel to myself, bro, you might have to do whatever it takes to win that cup. Like, you might have to do whatever. And I know you're looking at it like it's impossible. There's a lot of big teams still in it, right? But, if he does win it, but I think you have to win it. I think getting to the final and losing is not good enough because that's just a repeat of 2 years ago. It's just like history repeat itself. It's Groundhog Day again. But for him to really keep the job like massively, bro, you got to land that European spot. And I'm not talking about Conference League. I'm not. No. You have to get Europa at least. But I think Europa, though, at the same time, is not going to be good enough for certain people. I'm not going to say what players, but I think regardless, one of our aces from our suite is just going to end up leaving this next summer because
one
because I but at the same time though, I think I'm ready to embrace it because we have to. You can't do this thing where you just hold on to your players, you hoard them. It's just like football is just a business as well, man. And I think we have to sell these assets and stuff, recoup some money in, and help with our squad rebuild. It is what it is. And I feel like this team at the moment is still going through a journey. And the one thing that does have me like feeling like there is still a good future that lies ahead is that we do have Paul Mitchell at the helm. But at the same time, I honestly do think, like we talked about Dortmund's manager earlier. What's his name again? Terzic, and how good he'd be with like youth players and stuff. You can see the relationship working as a dream with Mitchell because he'll just bring in all these young players you never heard of from anywhere, and then just like bring them in, and we start bringing this youthful team through. But back to Eddie Howe's positioning, I just feel like part of me feels like regardless of what happens this season, I don't think he will continue on as manager for Newcastle United. I think this is the last season you will see of Eddie Howe for Newcastle, period.
I agree. I think this is his last season. But I think it's because he won't meet the targets that we've set for him, right? Because they've all said European qualification is the goal. And if he doesn't get that, then he's gonna leave. So for me, like you said, it has to be top six minimum. Yeah. And forget the cups because we ain't winning this Carabao Cup. Look at the teams that's left in there. Yeah, Liverpool, Manchester United, Tottenham, Arsenal still in there. I think Arsenal's still in there. Well, we're not winning that thing. Forget that. Right, that's done. So
that's Brentford first.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And then you've got the FA Cup, which is even harder to win. No, that's not happening. So write that off. Right, we have to get top 6, or else he's gonna go. Right, and I don't think. If you look at the teams that are in this league, right? Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. Forget those teams. Chelsea, forget that team, right? Then you've got the likes of Tottenham, Manchester United, Brighton. Fulham will fall away. Yeah, sorry, Kante, but Man United with Almerim, yeah, will finish above us. Yeah, we ain't beating them at Old Trafford. Forget that, by the way. And they'll probably beat us at St. James's, right? But they will finish above us. Spurs, you don't know. You don't know about Spurs, right? And Brighton also don't know, right? But those are the teams we're competing with, right? And Villa, don't forget Villa as well. But I know they're struggling at the moment, but they're still a good team, right? And once their injury players come back
West
as well,
Ham are slowly coming up. You know, people aren't realizing they're slowly coming up.
They are, but they're still.
I know they lost against Arsenal. They beat us, bruv.
Yeah,
all the teams you mentioned are better than us, including Fulham. Every single team you've mentioned is better than us, bro. We are a bottom. I'm gonna be D-man.
Bro, listen. Wait.
We are a bottom 6 team now.
I don't dispute that.
Under this Muppet,
bro,
we are a bottom 6 team.
I don't dispute that, but West Ham are not better than us. They're not.
Bro, they're better than us.
Under this manager, they're not better than us. They're not. West Ham are garbage.
They beat us.
They beat us
comprehensively.
We beat Arsenal, bro. We're not better than Arsenal. Yeah, you know what I mean. So
that was snatch and grab. Come on.
I'm not saying that West Ham we're clear of them, but we are better than them. Right, pound for pound, we're better than them. Right? They don't know what they're doing, bro.
How far are they behind us now?
Oh no, 3-4 points.
Bruv, listen, they got more going for them. Somerville and all these man. Listen. We're a bottom 6 team, right? Right now, if you in terms of Eddie,
yeah, we're not a bottom 6 team. We're not a bottom 6 team.
We are like it.
Where we are now.
We can't beat West Ham. Where were West Ham when we played them? 15th or something.
Yeah.
We can't beat West Ham.
Yeah.
We can't beat Crystal Palace, who are 19th. Yeah. Okay. We're a bottom 6 team. All right. But
also, look at the other teams, bro. Look at the other teams who they've dropped points to as well. I'm not saying they've been as embarrassing, right? But they have dropped teams to lower teams, bro. Yeah, Ipswich have taken points off Villa. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny season where everyone.
Leicester took points off Tottenham.
It is a weird.
Yeah, Everton, bruv. Everton, we drew 0-0. Yeah.
Well, I'm tired of Kante, you know. Listen, sorry, Kante. Let me tell you something. I'll bet you that we finish above Fulham. I'll bet money, yeah, that we finish above Fulham. Yeah, I'm tired of nonsense. Yeah.
We gotta get him back on for the return, innit? We gotta get him back on for the return.
Name your price. We'll finish above you. I'm not having none of that. Fulham. Now you're taking liberties, bro.
We gotta get him on for the return. But coming back to Eddie Howe, right? Because I know we need to get onto this Liverpool thing, and people are up waiting tonight. Eddie Howe, right? I'm looking at the fixture list. Liverpool, he's going to get a bye because we're not expected to beat Liverpool. And knowing these guys, they're probably going to get a draw out of nowhere, right? Brentford, away. Brentford have the best home record in the league, apparently.
Even
though we've got a good record against Brentford, I'm not expecting us to beat them.
We've got an exceptional record against Brentford. They've never beaten us.
But at the moment, they're on the up and ups. Vissa and Mbuemo are going to sort us out. We know that's going to happen, but I digress. Now, those 2 games should be deciding whether he's gone. And I'm including Liverpool in that.
I'm telling you, it's the following 2. It's the following 2 that scare me, bro.
But the thing is, that's what I was going to come to. That's what I was going to come to. In their heads, they're thinking, Leicester City, this is the last team that we're going to play that's sort of lower down there. I know we've got Ipswich to come and stuff. The cup has been most arguably his lifeline in this job. We can see the trajectory. Guys, we're not going to win the cup, yeah? As long as Liverpool is still in the cup, we're not winning the cup. Let's give up that dream. It's a dream. We're not winning the cup. So all we're doing is prolonging the inevitable. Now, this club is not stupid, yeah?
Sorry. 1 second. You see that fixture that you've got, right? Leicester, this is what's going to happen, bro. Leicester at home, we're going to be distracted by the upcoming cup fixture. So we're going to get a point against Leicester. We're going to get beat by Brentford in the cup. And then we're going to be so depleted that Ipswich are going to beat us, bruv, at their ground. That's when he gets sacked. Liam
Delap's going to deal with us as well. Yeah, we saw how Hutchinson dealt with Man United, right? And that's with the new manager bounce. But coming back to Eddie Howe, because the club are not stupid, right? With PIF as the ownership, they're not stupid. We've seen that they're making necessary changes in the club. We've seen Paul Mitchell come in, and we've even seen things like an ED&I manager recruited to the club. So when it comes to PR and engagement, they're not stupid. They know from Amanda's time at the club, they need to be closely tethered to the community. Yeah, and we've seen the way the Emirates community have provided jobs and all that stuff with City. So they know that that's a successful template. Now, what's the battle that the ownership have at the moment with the supporters groups? It's the stadium situation. The stadium situation. So they can only handle one thing at a time. Eddie Howe is deemed as a hero. So if they sack him, plus all the situation with the stadium, right, it's going to be riots. So that may be his stay of execution, where they're trying to be political about it. My last thing that I think might keep Eddie in it slightly longer is I think Paul Mitchell is probably saying, look, let's give him a chance. If he allows me to do my business, then we're cool. Because they fell out in the summer. So the winter window is going to be part 2. Will Eddie trust Paul to bring in his links? Will he trust him? Will they get on? And I think the ownership will be looking at that. If they trust him with the money and the transfers go wrong, then I think we're in trouble. Then I think he's gone. I personally don't think he's going to last the season, boys.
Yeah, you said about him being a hero, yeah? There's rumors, obviously, that the Wolf Lads was going to do a special tribute for Kevin Keegan for the Liverpool game, but then Keegan was meant to be attending the game the first time since he's left, but he's not going to be there now for some reason. So apparently, they're going to do a tribute to Eddie Howe, bro. Yeah?
Wow.
The tribute, what? Tribute on the Liverpool game where we're going to get beat?
It is what it is. But let's talk about the Liverpool game, yeah, before we wrap up, right?
Right.
Because we're obviously, like I said, we're going to review it on Thursday with Double D, Big Sam, and Errol. He's going to come on 3 versus 3. Now, there's talk of, obviously, given the way we performed against Chelsea at home, City at home, Arsenal at home, we tend to get out for these big games. These are the type of games that suit our style of play, a one-dimensional style of play. Sit back, try to absorb pressure, and hit them on the break. Now, we're coming up against one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best. They're best in the back. Obviously, Konate's injured, but Gomez is a good deputy. You've got Van Dijk, best Premier League defender of the last few years, whatever. You've got Trent back. And you've got Gravenberch playing out of his skin. And you've got, I think, the best wide forward the Premier League's ever seen in Mo Salah. That's up for debate. But this is a guy in serious form. Yeah, serious form, right? We've got Anthony Gordon.
Salah
he might want to put himself in the shop window.
The only thing I will say is that Isak loves a goal against Liverpool. That's all I'm going to say. However, does anyone give us a chance against the league leaders at this current time?
I don't think. Honestly, I don't.
He started already.
No. I'll be honest with you, and I call it out how it is. I just don't think we're going to win this game, and I think we're going to lose quite badly. It's going to be like the usual thing where it's a bit tight, but once we leak that goal, man, it's just going to collapse a bit. Because if there's one thing I've been impressed by Liverpool is that the way they adapt to games and the way Slot is not afraid to change things, and he'll just like adjust things a little bit. And my man's an architect, man. He just it's impressive, man. And I feel like there's a reason why they're top of the league. And I just think, like you said, all the players that you mentioned, Salah's in the form of his life. I can see him already just scored and sitting on the sideboard.
Lewis Hall v Salah. That's going to be a big battle.
It will be a big battle, but honestly, I have zero confidence. And there's going to people be like, oh, you're not backing your teams. It's like, I'm a realist. Listen, yeah, we all predicted Crystal Palace game would be 1-1. None of us shouted we're going to win that game. And I think it's another game where you have to say how it is. We are going to lose this game. And I think, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I don't think we're going to beat Brentford at Brentford's ground. That's looking like it'll be a draw or something like that. And I think Leicester will beat us because they've got a bounce of new manager. And I think Ipswich. You know what, Jefferson? I'm starting to believe in the fact that you're saying there that it could be the Christmas present wrapped up before December 25th comes, that he could lose his position. Because one of the things is that going back to this whole January transfer window, what I do not want us to do is to waste that window. We waste that window where it's over, man. It's just like, how many more windows are we going to waste? So
we've wasted 6 already. I'm not joking.
I'd rather us just like, you might just cut the lead, man. I mean, you're bleeding, man. Just cut the thing off, man. Cut it
the
off,
cord,
man.
Life support, did it?
Cut the thing off, right? And just like ride it out for the rest of the season and be like, get a new manager in. The new manager coming in it is a different conversation completely. I think we'll have to save this for another time and another episode, because that's definitely another 45 minutes of discussion. Yeah. And I got some candidates in my head that D-Man.
No, that name's not going to get spoken on it.
That's not agree with me, because in this situation right now,
we're not saying that. No,
that particular guy coming into this team right now,
we're not mentioning that name.
He will win you games.
We're not mentioning that name. Yeah, we'll save it. We're not talking about that guy.
3-0. We're going down. 3-0.
I don't think we're going to lose 3-0. I think we'll lose 2-0. But I think Liverpool won't get our second gear.
You're being nice, man. You're being nice.
No, because I don't think they'll get our second gear. They'll get a goal in the first half after about 20 minutes, and then wrap it up after 65 minutes. They won't have to break a sweat.
Are you talking about they don't have to like drop gear?
I can see it playing out where the first 10-15 minutes Liverpool will be pegged back, because we always start off intense. Liverpool will get a feeler for the game. And then we won't take our chances, and it'll be like, oh, we were so close. And then they're going to hit us on the break. So I noticed a few times they were hitting City on the break. Yeah, they were spraying passes to Diaz and Salah, in open space. So yeah, I think we're going down 3-0. I think we're getting bageled.
Yeah. But then again, this is the game that none of us are expecting to win. So anything that we do get is a bonus, but we're not going to get it with that. I'm not even expecting a good performance, but I'm watching his team selection. That's what I'm
just to highlight Double D, and I think context is king here as well, because we did mention this before that Liverpool would have played City and Madrid before this game, and we did say that mentally they could be tired on it, but.
Curtis Jones is a good player, though. I think Double D mentioned Curtis Jones. He's a good player.
He is, but what I'm saying is,
he's a good player.
Coming off the high of the 2 wins, the 2 big wins, that's going to drive them through to this next game. Yeah, I don't know who they got after. I think they got Everton afterwards. I think it is. But listen, they'll be fine.
Can I ask Adrian something? He said farewell tribute. Did you mean about the war flags, or did you mean? This last game.
He's talking about Eddie Howe. He's talking about Eddie Howe's farewell tribute. Like, thank you for
talking about the flags or the results of this game.
What I don't want to see is that time. I think it was last season, wasn't it, when Liverpool just completely annihilated like Man United. What I don't want to see is that, because that game was ruthless. I think Klopp went for the jugular that game.
He's not going to do that. I mean, we're not going to do that.
I don't want to see that, because. And it was crazy is that Man United got beat so bad and they still stuck with their manager. Boy.
But they won the cup and they locked Liverpool out the FA Cup as well. People forget that. You know what I mean? They locked Liverpool out the FA Cup to win it. Yeah, so swings and roundabouts. No, don't get Man United did not have a great season, but they had a winner, a coach that was used to winning things. Eddie Howe's won nothing in his life. Yeah.
And the EFL Championship.
You know what I mean? But people don't understand this is his level. Where we are now is where we should be under Eddie Howe, because he's a mediocre manager. But we scored 14 and conceded 14. This is it. He is that level head, that level, average manager. Average results, average manager. And it's not his fault, because that's just it. That's just him. We were the prize package when we finished 4th, right? I don't know when we deserved it, but the chickens have come home to roost now. Yeah, reality's kicked in, right? Yeah, and it's not going to get any better than this. It's not.
It's just time for some fresh strategy. That's all we ask for. That's all we ask for. It's as simple as that. But we shall see.
Yeah, man, we shall see. But I think that's a good place to wrap it up. I will say this is probably one of the only pods that I've seen that actually call out Eddie Howe for what it is. Yeah, everyone's all too scared to beat around the bush. Oh, starting to turn, and questions need to be asked, and what is the pressure on him? No. Cut the crap. It's time to go, innit? It's time to go. He won't go.
And we've been saying it for the longest time.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And listen, the cult of Howe. It's time to die off. Yeah, they're gonna be crying tears of Howe. They're gonna be crying tears of Howe when he's eventually gone, innit?
Tell Eddie there's a church on every corner, but nah.
Boy.
But anyway, but yeah, listen, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Like I said, we'll be back on Thursday to review the massacre, the St. James's massacre.
Wow, man, calling it St. James's massacre.
And we're gonna have some guests with us as well, so it's gonna be lively. It's gonna be lively.
Yeah, man, look forward to it. But yeah, thank you all for the comments, for those who've been watching. Don't forget to keep the likes, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. But yeah, thanks for watching. This will be available on the Audible, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, audio, sorry. But yeah, until next time, we're out. Peace.
Peace.
In a bit.